No BS. This is actually how you read more books. And with this method, what I do is I read in my mind for a little bit, and then once it gets boring, I start to read out loud. I know it's a simple thing when I say it out loud, but it actually makes all the difference. I 10 out of 10 recommend that you try this. You just read to yourself in the beginning, bro, and once it starts to actually get boring, once I start to be like, okay, I really want to close the book, I start reading out loud. And once I start reading out loud, because I naturally start liking when I start hearing myself say it out loud for some reason. I can't explain, I just know it worked. So after I start saying it out loud, I find myself reading a couple more pages more, 5 to 10 more pages. And then if I'm feeling really chippy, I may just go back to reading in my mind again, or I'll stop reading then, and then I'll just go scroll on my phone. That's actually another tip all in itself, but I'm gonna include it in this one. I get on my phone, get on Instagram, social media, the other things that I like to do and stuff, and then after I'm done on that, I may just get right back into reading and doing that same method over and over. And then next thing you know, I'm getting through a bunch of books every week. Method number 2 is another underrated tip. I heard some people talk about it, but some people only think like 1 or 2. And that is to keep a book on you at all times. This is another simple and underrated tip. This is very underrated. And a lot of people gonna look over this tip, but this is probably the easiest one to look over, but don't look over this tip. You'll be surprised just on how much reading you'll get done if you just keep a book on you. Especially when you get bored of being on Instagram or whatever, and you notice you got that little book in your book sack or in the corner of your room, you gonna find yourself reading, man. Like, well, I'm not gonna say it sounds crazy, but it's true. You gonna find yourself reading more when it's in more proximity to you. I butchered that word, but anyway, you're gonna find it easier to read when it's in easier proximity to you, and it's easier for you to get to. So, man, just keep a book on you, boys and girls. Just keep a book on you. You're gonna drastically increase how much you read. And then number 3. The final step is actually, this is another simple one. Notice how all this stuff is simple, but not necessarily easy. It's not the hardest thing in the world, but it's definitely simple to like understand. And a lot of people overlook this stuff, but this is like the fundamentals, and you gotta get them down. And the third one is actually, this one is very overlooked. You gotta take the page count, and then you divide it by how many days you want it take to finish the book. So if you got like a 500-page book and you want to finish it in like 5 days, that's 100 pages a day. And I know y'all probably gonna get mad. You just telling me simple math, blah blah blah. But it's an overlooked one. It really is an overlooked tip. Why am I messing up my words? But it really is. And it just gives you more structure when it gives you a set goal that you need to work to. And when you commit yourself to doing that, you're gonna find yourself thinking, oh, I can't even sleep at night, bro. I got like 20 more pages I gotta do so I can meet my quota. And so yeah, that's another underrated one. And here's a bonus tip. Bonus tip to help you read more books is listen to audiobooks. Just listen to audiobooks. I do prefer paperback books, but if you're reading paperback books and listening to some audiobooks, now you double trouble, boy. They can't stop you, my boy or lady. They can't stop you. You double trouble. You got them on 2 ends. They can't mess with you.